They gave me this Nitex knitting machine as a gift. It's pretty worn out, but since they know I'll get something out of it, it ended up in my hands. I have some projects with the carriage, this one that goes over these two bronze rails, but that project is a bit complex. So, well, today I'm going to do some work with the needles. Look, these are the ones. There are a lot of them. There must be around 300 needles or so. And, well, the machine has these two parts, and both of them have these same needles. Here I'll show you one in detail. These needles are made of really good steel. In fact, don't even think about trying to cut them with pliers or any cutting tool, because you'll definitely end up nicking them. It's a really, really good steel. Here you can see the end where the hook for the yarn is, which has a kind of latch that closes. The eye is a needle with an eye that can open. See, take a look. On the other end, it has a bend. It's a little thicker. It's square-shaped because the steel of these needles is so good. I've decided to make a set of mini tools, so let's do that. Let's start with a mini screwdriver for glasses. Those of us who wear glasses know the problem of screwing in the bolts on the arms of the glasses with the mini lathe. We're going to shape the thickest part of the needle into a flathead screwdriver. Since the screws that glasses have are like this. They're flat, you can see here. Look at how the tip turned out. And this is very practical and easy to carry. This is a tiny little needle. It's something you can put anywhere in the set where you carry your oral hygiene items and all those things. You put it there, and you know you have the screwdriver in case the arm of your glasses gets unscrewed or loose. Now we're going to move on to another tool, the Marking Awl. Since it's so hard, this steel marks metals very well, plus it can make marks for drilling later. Notice how it marks the aluminum. Here we're going to make a line and also the copper. Also, it's practical for marking the spot to make the hole. We mark it and then we drill. Another tool, a mini scalpel. This is one of the tools I like the most, always using the mini lathe. We're going to sharpen the thickest part of the needle, which in this case is the square section. And, well, this gets an impressive edge. The sharpness doesn't go away because the steel is very, very good. This can cut leather, plastic, paper, cardboard, and watch your fingers. Because if you mess around with this, it has a very, very sharp edge and works really well as a scalpel. If you want to take out a splinter, be careful because this goes deep. In a second.
Bueno.
Let's move on to another one. A needle for sewing leather by cutting off the end of the needle, the part that's bent like this, and sharpening it to a point. We have a needle for sewing canvas or leather with the advantage that the eye is open. So we pierce, pass the thread through. It's very simple, this part of passing the thread. You don't have to try to thread the needle's eye, which isn't very easy. Let's move on to another tool, the hook for extracting electronic components. For this, we're going to cut off the little tab from that piece that closes the needle's eye. You have to do it with pliers. You have to break that tab off. Don't try to cut it with any tool because it's very tough. And, well, you can cut it with a mini rotary tool, but the easiest way is to break it off using pliers, right? Those of us who collect components from old electronic boards often have trouble removing them. See, for example, this resistor is very, very close to other components. Well, what you do is pass the hook under one of the connection wires, and then with the soldering iron underneath, we loosen it and pull with the hook, and see how easily it comes out, right? Those tools, even though they're simple, are really useful. In the workshop, we also use another tool, which is a needle for cleaning solder. Once we want to change, for example, a component on a board, we remove the component and almost always some solder remains in the little holes where the component goes. They end up covered with solder. Well, with this steel, we can make a really, really sharp tip. This steel doesn't adhere easily to solder, so let's heat it up. We heat the solder with the soldering iron and open the hole to fit the new component. Watch how it's done. It's very simple and it also works very well. Now this other tool is for passing wires through. Sometimes you see that we're in the middle of a bunch of wires coming from all directions, and we need to pass one to the other side. Well, things get complicated for us. This is very simple. By having that open eyelet there at the end, we can put the cable we want to pass through right there. We pull it and pass it through the middle of all the others. Look here at how I'm doing it with this bunch of cables, and I'm passing one in particular. Another interesting use for these needles is to make hinges for modeling using the little tab. This one, since it has some movement, can be used to make hinges in models or modeling projects. A while ago, when my eyesight was better, I used to do naval modeling. And, well, all these little things, the ones that have those movements and that mechanical work like this kind of needle does, are very useful to use. Thank you.
En los proyectos.
Well, it seems incredible all the uses we can give to these accessories. I hope you like the video, that you share it on your social media, and comment below if you can think of any other possibilities, both with the needles and with the machine itself, give it a like, subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell to receive notifications when I upload new content. Thank you so much for watching the video, and see you next time, God willing. Thank you.